Just a real quick video going into the weekend. Just wanted to share something I've been working on for about, 4 or 5 months. Putting up a Patreon page, not necessarily because of any kind of a money issue, just there's things that I don't necessarily think are appropriate for YouTube. And here you have the ability to kind of take the gloves off, so to speak, and open it up and really let fly with what's going on. It's something where, and I understand YouTube's point on it, they got advertisers they got to deal with, so I'm not even going to get into that argument about First Amendment or whether it even applies. But anyway, Florida Maquis on Patreon. If you want to, that's great. If not, that's great too. Not really worried about it. I just wanted to let folks know it was out there. I've got 3 videos up now at the basic level. There's 5 tiers right now, and there's going to be 5 different levels of video. Totally up to you. Like I said, one way or the other, I just wanted to make folks aware that it was there, and that it'll be military intelligence style videos talking about psychological operations and intelligence operations and how to recognize them when you're being made a victim of them. So anyway, 90 seconds on that. Wanted to also talk about kind of a feel-good story. So much negative coming out with the issues with Venezuela and Colombia and Mexico. When it gets down to the people, the hard-working, everyday folks down there, they are a whole lot more like you and me than you would think. They really are. And this is Vanguardia.com, and they did a special article here on these 6 guys that kind of represent the thousands that were working on this dam, the good people that were doing the very best they can to get this up and protect their neighbors. In some of the descriptions here, I think you're going to find a common theme, a common thread that I think would surprise you for coming out of an area that was supposedly made up of quote-unquote animals or a shithole country or things like this. So the first one is this guy. He's 40-something years old. He is a explosives guy. Let's see if I can get his name here. 20 months at the project. Martin Barrientos. Talks about how hard this is to work out in the sun and the water. He's got 2 kids to support, an 8-year-old and a 7-year-old. And they ask him, he said, in the town they ask me if I'm waiting for the Cauca River to take me, but I have a lot of faith that this will not happen. The other thing that has been hard is to see people leaving what little they have without knowing where they are going. But that is also a situation that fills one with morality. We have the need to finish quickly so that they can go home and be calm. This next one, he's kind of a younger guy apparently. He's a trucker. And he said he hasn't been there very long, but he's seen what's happened with these emergencies and how important it is for him to be able to get the materials to the top of the dam. And talking about his kids, they tell me, Daddy, be very careful, that it's very dangerous there. And he said, I reply that everything will be fine because I trust God a lot. And if he let me get to this project, it is so that I can give the people downstream a better life. It has not occurred to me to resign, although I confess that he hasn't lived through emergencies that everyone else has, but he remains united with his companions, and with them every day before starting the day, we entrust ourselves to ourselves in prayer. This is the guy, I don't know if anybody saw the videos where I was showing the guy who got almost destroyed by the wall of water. This is the guy who shot that video. And he talks here about how he was so excited to see so much attention to the video, talking to people and letting people know what was happening with the dam. And he says, I know that this is something ephemeral, so I take this opportunity because I would like to take the children from all of the shelters to the cinema and give them some gifts, but I need help from the media and the government to achieve it. I imagine it's like when I take my own children to a shopping center and I take them to the movies and then they tell me thank you. He would want to have that experience, all those kids that had lost their homes and had to go live in shelters because of the problems with the dam, that he would like to somehow take this exposure that he got with his Twitter account and somehow parlay that into some finances that he could maybe take care of these kids. He has 5 children of his own who live in Bogota that he only gets to see every 2 weeks. He works 2 weeks on, 1 week off. And he says, IRS 7, I can take them to the movies, but the parents of these children live a very difficult situation, and that is why we want to encourage them. Here they tell us that we are heroes, but it's not like that. My brother is an aviation rescuer in the Army, and those guys are. I'm just a worker who got lucky. This guy's a mechanic here, 52 years old, and he's doing this kind of work. Amazing. And he's been in this area for 30 years. And, he talks about how they just work together as a team, and no matter what goes on, they just find their way through it. When he was talking about how when the water was coming through there, he's like, that day my daughter, Maria Camilla, 21-year-old daughter, called me crying and begged me to leave the project. I said, not my love, I'm working without problem, nothing's happened here. We all feel scared, but one keeps doing his work because he thinks of the people below, from Porto Valdivia Township, who are out of their homes. Sometimes he'll ask himself why he didn't leave, but, when he sees the effect of his work, that's the payment for him. And the last one I'll leave you with is these 2 guys here. These guys apparently have been working together on machinery and drilling equipment on other dam projects as well. And he says, here we get up at 3:45 in the morning, and at 4:30 we are having breakfast to go down to work at 6 o'clock. Before entering, we pray with all the other workers, and knowing the situation of the work, we are alert at all times. When we have breaks, 1 week every 14 days, I go to see my family and friends. He goes with his wife, his parents, and he basically wants to give a better future for his daughter, who is Yelena, 6 years old. See, these are the kind of people that I think most Americans here would identify with. Hard-working people that have the same fears and hopes and dreams that we do. They speak a different language? Sure. And have they lived a different life? Absolutely. But they, turn wrenches, drive trucks, and this guy lights off explosives, and they work on equipment, and they're trying to make a better life for themselves. So, it's not all drug dealers, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not all horrible, terrible, just, paramilitaries and fighting all the time. There are people down here that have had lives and lived lives and have, called this their home. And it's a beautiful area. Completely gorgeous. Breathtaking rivers and mountains, and it's too bad that the things that we have to focus on all the time are so negative. But I just thought today I would put a face on it and show you that there is a way we can work together. American, Colombian, Venezuelan, Ecuadorian, Mexican. If we can push the nonsense out of the way and just see each other as human beings, we can get this figured out. So you guys have a happy Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you next time. Like, share, subscribe.